Nigerian Senate says it has not been served the certified true copy of the Federal High Court judgment delivered on July 4, 2025 in the case filed by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan challenging her suspension. Senate spokesperson Senator Yemi Adaramodu confirmed awareness of the ruling but noted that the full judgment was not read in open court and no enrolled order has been served. He said the Senate has applied for the CTC to assess its content and determine next legal steps. He emphasized that until the judgment is officially received and reviewed, no action will be taken, reaffirming the Senate's commitment to due process and constitutional compliance. Honorable, I am sure you have also been a spectator of the drama that has followed Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's suspension and, the interesting twist of the whole thing with the Senate President, the federal government and all of that. But now the court says that Natasha should be returned back to the Senate. And Senator Natasha has come out to say that she will resume on Tuesday.
I think she shouldn't be in much of a hurry.
Okay.
You have judgment. Of course, the lawyers will say you enjoy the fruit of your labor. And I think that, honestly, it is not what is happening to Natasha that we should be looking at.
Okay.
It's what is happening to our constituents. Their constituents deserve a voice, a matters that affect them in the Senate. And
the personality cult, that would let conflict between herself and the Senate President, or between herself and the Senate Executive.
It's something that we should try and put behind us. Now, if we're a country of laws, I don't see any reason why the Senate should go and appeal in this matter.
Okay.
I don't see any reason why they should go and appeal. That is why if we are looking
not at Natasha, we are looking at the people who elected her. Punishment has been dished by the Senate responsibly. Natasha did not speak
from her position, and she had no right to allocate a seat to herself.
The presiding officer who
that if, in this instance, the prodigal son is ready to come back home, I think a reasonable father should, with both hands open, say, return. The Senate should be able to, let's keep this thing where it is. Punishment have been dished, allegations have been made, all of those things. Fortunately, unfortunately, some of them falling within certain privileges, in terms of speech and what you do on the floor of the House. Now, the courts have ruled, and I think rationally, we should be looking at ending this scene. Act 1, Scene 1 is over. Let us in Act 1, Scene 2 be something that is palatable, something that Nigerian people can see. We shouldn't allow ourselves every day in the social media, everywhere, people are, nobody will remain. Is it Natasha? Is it the Senate President? None of them. So, I hope they will be listening. I think it's the time to bury the hatchet. Let's obey the law. We say we respect the rule of law. This is the time to respect the rule.
If we say respecting the rule of law, now one would wonder if Senate considered the rule of law while suspending Senator Natasha. That was 6 months suspension.
No, they have house rules. There are rules.
I'm under I know.
There are rules.
I know that the maximum that can be given to an elected senator or House of Assembly member is 14 days, correct?
Maximum suspension?
No, I don't think that even the law, the handbooks of the both houses is silent on that. It's something decided between the presiding officer and members, depending on the mood.
It's something,
because now you are talking about representation, you are talking about sitting 180 days or thereabouts. 181 days.
181 days.
And then you are coming to say that somebody should go on suspension for 6 months. Yeah, you're saying that you don't want to hear anything from the constituency. And that's not right.
All right. Chidi, what do you make of this story? But then after that, I'll now bring us back to what the law says about suspension of National Assembly members, particularly senators. But if you know what the law says, you can still go ahead with that. Or if you know of any court judgments, precedents, with regards to this, because in the case of Dino Melaye, it was challenged as well. So I'll bring you instances, but then go ahead. What do you make of this story?
Yeah, the Honorable have rightly said it. This drama should end. It doesn't portray any good to us. Every day, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, I mean, it's demeaning to Nigeria. And like the Honorable said, if there is any sense of responsibility in the Senate, they should just end this drama. There is no need to appeal it. Recall the lady to do her job of representing her constituency. I mean, the whole thing, it is not Natasha that is the victim here. The constituency are. You are denying them representation, and it doesn't speak well of a law-abiding country. So this drama should end. It should end at this point in time. And I would also want to say on the part of Natasha, she also has to mellow down. The way she's going about this thing doesn't show regret. Even when she was asked to apologize, you just sent a sarcasm to them.
Well, the court ruled in that as well. They have ordered her to apologize
and pay 5 million.
Pay 5 million naira.
That's
for the sarcastic
right.
apology.
It's
and
very
also,
wrong.
Apologize and publish it on national newspapers.
Yeah, these people are public figures who are supposed to show example to the young ones and to everyone. And if they are not, what do they want the people to emulate from them? So she should also mellow down the way she's going about it, because she cannot. Of course, we are seeing it. If not that this thing is in public, the people are shouting, and she's winning sympathy. She can't win this case, knowing the Nigeria we are in. She cannot win it. So, but
well, this case has gone to her favor. Don't you agree?
It has gone to her favor.
That's round one.
Yes, that's round one. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
In this country, if they really want to say Natasha won't win this case in any way, she will not win it. So that is it. So this is she's dealing with the powers. So she should also.
That's the cabal.
The cabals, indeed. So she should understand this, that her efforts could be limited. It's just a 100 naira.
Even to add to what my brother is saying, you can find that there was an attempt to recall, and the system came across a massive outpouring of support. And I think it was a warning signal that no matter what she is, her constituents were behind her. So they dropped the idea of recall. You remember?
Yes.
Now,
the recall, well, INEC came out to fault that recall.
Initially, and they initially returned to do the assignment.
A lot of things were wrong with it.
Now, but where we came to, INEC was almost browbeaten to do that assignment until Natasha entered Kogi with that chopper. Don't come home, you can't enter. And she entered by air. Babylon by bus. So, but this is the thing. I think that if we love the integrity of our legislative institutions, if we respect the notion the power belongs to the people, and if we also agree that the rule of law should be sacred, then let those in the Senate. There's nothing to prove. There's just nothing to prove. Let us put a legislative institution where I should stand. Those of us who have been in and out of that institution have a lot of regard for that institution.
Right.
And that institution shouldn't be brought to ridicule by the actions of persons who either are careless in speech or power drunk.
You want us to make reference to the things that the Senate president has been saying? Anyway, but then still looking at the legality of the 6-month suspension. By the provisions of the Legislative House's Powers and Privileges Act 2018, a member of a legislative house who is guilty of contempt of that house may be suspended, but not more than 48 hours. Now, Senate Rules Order 67 sub 4 says a senator cannot be suspended for more than 14 days. Omar Agege had this issue, and he spoke out in court in the House with regards to the election sequence, and he was suspended. Omar Agege went to court and challenged that suspension, claiming that he was unfairly targeted, and he won in court. Omar Agege just won out of many, actually. So there have been cases of these unconstitutional suspensions that have been overturned in court. The question is, now, the Nigerian Senate, in this instance, that is the highest arm of legislature in the country, they are the ones that make these rules. Why are they the ones breaking the rules?
Look, what I do know about this, there are Senate rules and there are House rules. And because of the nature of the National Assembly, since it's a bicameral legislature, you may have broad rules. But all of these things, from this thing, what you have, extracts, if you go, you will see a booklet that shows you these are the House rules of the Senate. They are not the same like the House rules of the rules of the House of the Reps. You know, there's some little differences.
I just one of the Senate.
Now, if you recall, when I made a passing comment, I said that these things depend on the mood of the House. The House goes behind.
Regardless of their mood, they break the law.
Can they suspend the rule? They can.
The rule says it has to be within
Those are rules. They are not laws. They are rules, guiding rules.
Which can be suspended.
We can be suspended.
Now, if you say they are guiding rules which can be suspended, the question will be, how do you suspend an elected member of the House?
Look. Well, maybe, okay. You probably want to say something on that.
How constitutional is that? Suspending an elected member of the House. And don't forget that when Honorable was speaking, in his opening statement, he said this is not about the person of Senator Natasha, this is about her constituents.
Yes.
People in Kogi State who have not been represented for some months now, right? So now, can a senator be suspended? Can you consider that suspension constitutional, seeing that this has to do with representation of the constituents?
We have just trashed it. We've said, based on the House rule, which they have even, from what you have read, they have violated it. The Senate says not more than 14 days. And they are giving suspension of 6 months, as if we are in the military era. They have violated even the Constitution. They have violated it, going beyond the House rule.
Is there any provision in the Constitution, anywhere that the Constitution provides for suspension of a senator? Because what I recall in the Constitution is recall.
No, I think broadly,
what I recall in the Constitution is recall of a
recall
senator,
is
not
one of those steps that you take. You see, what I can only say here about the Natasha thing is that the reaction of the Senate was punitive, very punitive, and
won't you say excessive? Won't you call it an overreach?
Well, these are up to you to adopt. But the major, this thing is like, the symbol. You see, when things play, remember there are older women who have been in the Senate in and out, who, when they weighed in, say, no, Natasha, don't go there. We have respect for you, don't go there. Don't turn yourself into a woman suddenly. Don't go there. Now, the point is, the mood of lawmakers sometimes affect what they do, you know. And I think that they were trying to protect the integrity of the presiding officer.
Interesting. Okay, protecting the integrity of the presiding officer.
Because when you protect the integrity of the presiding officer and protect the integrity of the house.
When we protect integrity of the house, you say, let's periscope on the integrity of Nigerian Senate. Correct? How many times in Nigerian Senate have we seen them throwing punches on national television?
It's not peculiar to Nigeria.
Hold on.
In Japan, everywhere.
No. So
yes.
Now, when they throw punches, it is not peculiar to Nigerian Senate.
No.
Hold on. When they use abusive words and curse each other out on national television, it's not peculiar. I mean, he was angry. That could be understood. But hold on. But when a woman speaks,
you see,
when a woman speaks out, I'm going there because you mentioned that there have been elderly women in the house who probably are returning senators, and they say, Natasha, don't go there. Natasha, don't go there. Apparently, Natasha is headstrong and won't,
that is one of the reasons.
Won't bow her head like others. But what I'm saying in essence is, Senator Akpabio in the past has done the same thing Natasha did by insisting to speak from a seat that was not allocated to him, even though
and they cut him out.
Even though he later apologized.
He apologized. They cut him out.
But the point is, he who has no sin, let him cast the first stone. Now we are talking about protecting the integrity of the house. It is one thing to insist to speak from a seat not allocated to you, and another thing to actually throw punches. Another thing to actually curse each other out and lunge at another person. Because when we are looking at the weight of the offenses, one would say worse things have happened in the Senate that did not just, cast aspersion on the integrity of the house, but made a caricature and a ridicule of the integrity of the person in question.
See.
And now, the mood of the Senate at that time was convivial.
No. You see.
But in the case of Senator Natasha,
what you are not taking into consideration is that biblical injunction that says, "Blessed are the peacemakers." Each time you have tension on the floor of the house, you see a great majority of people come to the middle, separating. You can't do this here. Now, maybe the television may not capture all of that.
We don't see that.
Maybe that's the point I'm making, that maybe the television can't capture most of that, but you see at all times, even between Natasha and the Senate president, there were senators who just walked to her. No.
What was captured on the television was a minority in this instance compared to the number of persons seated. Very few persons, probably.
Those who go, listen, please note, the fight was verbal.
Was there any?
It was not physical.
So which one is more?
Now, see, you never throw away the nature of man. Okay. Man has his nature to be a dominant force. Sometimes you need to assert. To be the beast that you are, you need to show strength sometimes. But to be the rational man, you need to use your head.
Okay.
You understand? So, and you will always find all of those combinations, even in community meetings, in village town squares, in the legislature. There always will be those who believe in the institution, believe in those codes, the oath that they have taken, and who think that those who flare sometimes they have a right to flare up, but they should do it within limits. So each time you see, and that is why you can also say that the incidents of violence, fisticuffs in the National Assembly it's not something you see on a regular basis.
Can you remind me of any suspension that has come out of that, those incidences? One, just give me one.
Look,
is there any senator
one thing that happens.
Of
one thing that happens when such things happen. One, we feel something is about to go wrong. Technically, you ask the media, everybody in the gallery, everybody clear. It closed the session. In that session, the position of the House is properly articulated. Those who want to apologize should apologize, and they will apologize there in-house. Sometimes it is done in such a manner that when you come to open sitting, you rise up and you say, yeah, sorry. It doesn't take anything away from you.
Yeah, right.
Now, but when they come heavily upon you, is that behind the scene, they're persuading you and you think that you're the only strong one. And then when all of them say, okay, it's time to show you. Look at it. Let me also give an example of the Natasha case. There were trays, they come in trays. The other two senators spoke against Natasha from Kogi. You can understand the point I'm trying to make. And some of them were the ones who said, I had one of my friends saying, oh, Senior President, I'm sorry. I'm the one who brought this mess on you. I brought Natasha to you. See, K-leg. So
this isn't this a situation where people are trying to protect their second tenure, third tenure, as it may be? Because when you say when you say people are saying two people spoke against, I mean they have interests, political interest in this matter, not the interest of Natasha, but their political interest. If you have to look at it critically, I will question the motive.
You know, one thing. If we were to remove, let me use you as an example. You are the moderator, and you are moderating well. It has nothing to do with whether or not you are male or female. So I think where we have come, what we are seeing is the brain that you women have. We're no longer seeing your bodies.
Exactly.
So keep moving. We are moving. You are moving in the right direction. I'm a man that God gave all the fine women in the world. My children are all women.
Okay.
So when I see women like you breaking new grounds, I know that there's something for my kids too. Now, but the issue is this. Whether I would like it or not, this is not a time now to drag this thing anyhow. The House could suspend any of its rules in order to do any of the things it wants to do. Okay. All you need is a motion that says suspend, and they suspend it unanimously, and then it clears the path. Now all this why, how, when, all this is no longer count, because that section, whatever section they are talking about, have been moved to create room. That's why I said
the question now would be, it's different when the House is suspending a rule and when a judgment, a precedent has been set by the judiciary on that same matter.
Please note.
Can the House set aside judicial precedent?
This is the thing. Sometimes you go to the same judiciary. They tell you, say, no, we don't want to interfere in a political party. They say it's an internal affair. Somebody will rule. That view will reign for some time. Then the next time, no. What he did was wrong. We have cancelled the election. Do you understand? There is something about Chido Odinkalo's book that he just wrote. He wrote about the selectorate. Meaning that we are no longer talking about the electorate. Selectorate. I think the good thing about this country is that we have great minds.
Right.
This country is blessed. Now, whatever we want to do as Nigerians, let's always remember that we have a target. We know where we are going.
All right. Yeah. We have a target. Do you think we know where we are going at this point? Do you honestly? Are you confident in that statement that we know where we are going?
Because where we are going is actualization of the Nigerian project.
What is the Nigerian project?
The Nigerian project is greatness of Nigeria.
What? The greater what?
Greatness of Nigeria.
Wait, the greatness of Nigeria.
Are you Don't be pessimistic. Just be optimistic that we will get there someday.
Oh.